Good afternoon, welcome to our channel, AfriEdu. So today we are going to be doing a question on functions that is from the question paper for grade 11, November 2018, question 6. So we are given the diagram below shows the graph of fx equal to negative open bracket x minus 3 squared plus 25, which is a parabola, a quadratic function, and gx, which is equal to gx equal to 2 multiplied by half to the power x plus 1 minus 4, which is an exponential function. Then you are told that graph f has the x-axis at A and C, the y-axis at E, then has a turning point at D. Then you are told that G has the x-axis at A and the y-axis at B. Then we go to the question. The first part is saying write down the equations of the asymptote of G. If we have to check, G is exponential. The general form of an exponential function will be given by A multiplied by B to the power X plus P plus Q, where X plus P, there is an exponent of B. So in this format, to get the equation of the asymptote, it means this part with exponent can never be 0, this part with exponent. So if we are to put 0, that's where we are going to have our asymptote. So it means our asymptote is y equal to 0 plus Q. So the equation of the asymptote will be given by y equal to Q. So if we are to come in this question, they want the equation of the asymptote. It means the part which is having our part with exponent, we treat it as 0. So it means the equation of our asymptote is going to be y equal to 0 minus 4. Therefore, the equation is y equal to minus 4. This becomes the equation of the asymptote. Then the next question is saying write down the coordinates of D. What is it that you are given? You are told D. It's representing the turning point. And our graph, if you check the format, our graph is written, which is the quadratic function, is given in this format, y equal to A open bracket x minus P squared plus Q. So if your function is given in this format and you are required to get the equation of the turning points, it simply means that to get the x coordinate, you have to equate the part in bracket to 0. So our x will be equal to P. Then take this whole part as 0. Then our y will be equal to Q. So it means the coordinates, a turning point in that format will be given as PQ. So in this case, if we are to take this part in bracket, equate it to 0, it means that we are having x minus 3 being equal to 0. So the x will be equal to 3. Then our y will be equal to 25. If we are to take that part with fraction, 0. So it means the coordinates of D will be given by 3, 25. Then the next question is saying write down the range of F. Write down the range of F. F is a parabola. So whenever you are asked to know the range, whenever you are asked to give the range, it means you must be knowing the y value at turning point. You must be knowing the y value at turning point. If your graph is like this, then you know the y value at turning point. It means your range is gonna be y is greater than or equal to the y coordinate at turning point. But if the graph is this way, then you need the y coordinate at turning point. So your range will be y is less than or equal to y coordinate at turning point. So in this question, this is the shape of our graph. And we know this is the shape of our graph. And we already established the y coordinate at turning point. So it means the y coordinate the turning point is there 25. So it means the range is going to be y is it's less than or equal to 25, but we must also know that our y is an element of real numbers, of which this range can be written using our y is an element of from where? From negative infinity. From negative infinity up to where? Up to the maximum value, which is 25. But at 25, we are going to put a square bracket because we are saying this is also included as part of the range. Then we move on to the next question. We move on to the next question. So if we are to check our next question, what is it saying? It's saying calculate the length of EB. Calculate the length of EB. To get the length of EB, we are required to get the length of EB. And if we are to check from our graph, here, it means we need the coordinates of E, but we are told that E, that is question 6.4. That is question 6.4. E, you are told that E is y-intercept. So how do you calculate y-intercept? For y-intercept, we know we have to substitute x equal to 0. Then if we put x equal to 0, it means the y must be equal to negative, open bracket, 0 minus 3 squared plus 25. And when we are to simplify that, we are getting our y being equal to 16, which is minus 9 plus 25. So the coordinates is 0, 16. Then to get the y-intercept, this one was for fx. Then we go to gx. We still want the y-intercept because we are told that b is y-intercept. So it means we are going to substitute there. Our y will be equal to 2. Then we are going to have half to the power 0 plus 1. Then we are going to have minus 4. If we are to check this one, it's half times 2, it's 1, minus 4, it's going to be equal to minus 3. So the coordinates there are 0, minus 3. When you want to give the length of EB, it therefore means that EB will be equal to point on top. Since it's a vertical line, it's gonna be point on top, which is equal to 16 minus the point below, which is minus 3. So it means this will be equal to 19 units. Is the length of EB. Alternatively, we can use the distance formula to calculate the length of EB. Once you get these coordinates there of E and these coordinates here of B, it means we can use distance formula. It means using the distance formula, we know D is equal to the square root of x1 minus x2 squared plus y1 minus y2 squared, which is equal to the square root of, if we check here, x is 0, here x is 0, so it's going to be 0 minus 0 squared plus 16 minus 3 squared. When you simplify that, we are going to get 19 units as the distance. Then we go to the next question. We go to the next question. If we go on 6.5, if we are to go on 6.5, the question is saying determine the value of x for which determine the values of x for which f is decreasing. If we are to check on our graph here, this is the graph of f, but if we are to check this part of f, our graph has been increasing until it reaches the turning point. When it reaches the turning point, our graph is now going to be decreasing there. So the question wants the values of x for which f is decreasing. So it's decreasing from the turning point. So it means it's decreasing where x is decreasing where x is greater than the x value at turning point, which is 3. Then calculate the average gradient between A and B. Calculate the average gradient between A and B. If we check, that is question 6.6. That is question 6.6. If we check, the coordinates of B have been established already to be 0, -3. Then we want to establish the coordinates of A, but we are told that A is x-intercept. A is x-intercept. So we can take it to be x-intercept of f, or we can take it as x-intercept of G. If we are to take it as x-intercept of G, it means we know x-intercept y must be equal to 0. So what is going to happen? It means in the equation for gx, where we are having gx equal to, it's saying 2, then half to the power x plus 1 minus 4. If you substitute 0 there, we are going to get our 0 being equal to 2 half to the power x plus 1 minus 4. Then we take 4 to the other side, so it means the 4 will be equal to 2 half. Then we have x plus 1. Then from there, if we divide both sides by 2, it means we are going to have 2 here after dividing by 2 being equal to half is the same as 2 to the power -1. Then we have x plus 1. So we are having 2 to the power 1. Take note here, we applied the rule which says 1 over m is equal to, let me use a different color. The rules that we applied a rule which says that 1 over m is equal to m to the power -1. Then from here we are going to apply a rule which says that a to the power b raised to the power c must be equal to a to the power product of the exponents. So it means our 2 to the power 1 will be equal to 2 to the power a negative x and -1. Then from there, since our bases are the same, we can conclude that 1 is equal to negative x -1. Taking the x to this other side and this one to this other side, it means our x is equal to a -1, which gives us -2. So it means the coordinates of A are -2, 0. Then the question wants the average gradient. Average gradient. So if we use the gradient formula, so it means our m will be equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So if we are to take our points here to be x1 and y1, it means the one at B there are going to be x2 and y2. So it means our gradient gonna be equal to y2, which is minus 3 minus 0 divided by 0 minus 2. So eventually our answer is gonna be negative 3 over 2 as our average gradient. Our average gradient is negative 3 over 2. But take note, it was possible here that when we were calculating the coordinates of A, it was possible that we use the graph of F. We use the graph of F. We were given that fx, we were given that fx is equal to minus open bracket x minus 3 squared plus 25. So substituting 0 because the x-intercept, our fx, our y will be equal to 0. So it means 0 will be equal to minus, then x minus 3 squared plus 25. Then from here, we can transpose this one, it comes the other side. So it means our x minus 3 squared is equal to 25. Then we find the root both sides. Then here is plus or minus. So it means our x minus 3 is equal to positive 5, or our x minus 3 is equal to negative 5. Then adding there, so it means our x will be equal to 8 there, or our x is equal to negative 2. So from there, since our point A is on the negative side, we're going to take our point A to be negative 2, 0. Once we have the coordinates of A, the coordinates of B were extracted from the previous question, then means we are done. We can now calculate the gradient formula using point A and point B. There, it was also noted that to solve this equation, it was possible that we can use the quadratic formula. You can expand this equation, then use the quadratic formula, or you can use completing the square. Then, let's go to the next question. Let's go to the next question. The next question now, we are on question 6.7. They're saying if T is obtained by reflecting G about the x-axis, write down the range of T. Okay, so in this case, if we check our G, that is question 6.7, question 6.7. If we check our G, is given as 2 open bracket half to the power x plus 1 minus 4. Then you are told that t is obtained by reflecting f about the x-axis. If we reflect about the x-axis, it means we are going to multiply the entire function by a negative. So it means our t is gonna be negative 2. Then we are having a half here to the power x plus 1 minus 4. So it means this will be equal to negative 2 half to the power x plus 1 plus 4. That is now our tx. But from our function, from our main function, we say the general function for a exponential function is given by y is equal to a multiplied by b to the power x plus p plus q. We have to know that this a will help us determine our range. How? If this a is positive, if the a is positive, it means our graph will be on top of the asymptote. And if our a is negative, it means our graph will be below the asymptote. Our graph will be below the asymptote. And remember, our Q tells us about our asymptote. So now it means if the graph is above the asymptote, the range will be y is greater than Q, which tells us about our asymptote. And if the graph is below the asymptote, our y will be less than Q. So in this case, where we now have our tx, we realize that our a is negative. So it means the graph is below the asymptote. So it means our range is going to be given by y is less than the asymptote. Our asymptote is at 4. And we have to know that y is an element of real numbers. And we have to take note that the 4 is not inclusive because at 4 it's an asymptote. This can be written as our graph is from negative infinity. So our y is an element from negative infinity up to where? Up to 4. Then we are told that if px is equal to fx plus 2, that is question 6.8, we are told that px equal to fx plus 2, meaning to say the graph has been shifted up by 2 units. It's so moving up by 2 units or moving down, vertical movement does not affect the y-coordinate. So it does not affect the x-coordinate. So it means the x-coordinates of entire P are not going to be affected, but the y-coordinates are going to be shifted up by 2 units. So from what we had earlier on, it means we are going to have our coordinates being 3, 27, it was possible that you first find px, so our fx was negative x minus 3 squared plus 25, then you say plus 2 of those 2 units up. So it means this will be equal to negative x minus 3 squared plus 27. So if we are to check, the x-coordinate at turning point will not change, but the y-coordinate at turning point changed. So the other coordinates at turning point are gonna be 327. Then they are now saying determine the values of k for which the straight line, that's one, will be a tangent to f, for which this straight line will be a tangent to f. Okay. Right, on question 6.9, the first method that you can use, we are told that we want you to determine the value of k for which this straight line will be tangent to f. So our f, it means the equation fx is equal to 2x plus k must be having one root, one repeated root for a to be a tangent. So what's fx? Fx is given as minus, open bracket, x minus 3 squared plus 25. This is equal to 2x plus k. So we are going to expand this bracket. It becomes minus. Take note, this one is going to be x squared minus 6x plus 9. Then we have plus 25. This must be equal to 2x plus k. This part where we are having x minus 3 squared, it means it's x minus 3 times x minus 3. When it's expanded, this one is going to be x squared. This one and this one is going to be minus 2x. Then this one and this one, so it's 3, not 2, minus 3x. Then minus 3x. This one and this one is gonna be plus 9. So when you combine this, so it's x squared minus 6x plus 9. Then from there, expanding, we are going to have minus x squared plus 6x plus 9. Sorry, it's gonna be minus 9 because a minus and a plus. Minus 9 plus 25 equal to 2x plus 6. So this equation gonna be minus x squared. Take note there. It's plus k here. So this reduces to minus x squared plus 6x minus 2x minus 9 plus 25 is going to give us a plus 16. Then minus k is equal to 0. So we are having minus x squared plus 4x minus plus 4x plus 16 minus k equal to 0. Then from there, we can now talk of the discriminant, to talk of nature of roots. We said our root, for us to have a tangent, we said our root must be the same, or our root must be repeated. So for repeated root, we know that b squared minus 4ac must be equal to 0. That is for repeated roots. For same roots or for repeated roots. But here our a is what? If we are to check there, our a is the coefficient of x squared, which is minus 1. Our b is equal to 4, which is the coefficient of x, and our c is the constant, which is 16 minus k. So it therefore means our b squared It's gonna be 4 squared minus 4a negative 1 c 16 minus k. This must be equal to 0. So it's gonna be 16 plus 4 open bracket 16 minus k is equal to 0. So our 16 plus 64 minus 4k is equal to 0. Here, when you add these two, it's 80. This 80 must be equal to 4k. Then, dividing both sides by 4, it means our k must be equal to 20. So our k must be equal to 20 for this equation to be a tangent. Alternatively, for those who are doing grade 12, they can use a concept which is taught in grade 12. So for those who are revising this paper for the purpose of their grade 12, it means here you are going to use this method. Number 1, you are going to expand your fx. When you expand your fx, which is done here on the left hand side, which is here, it means you are going to get negative x squared plus negative x squared plus 6x plus 16. When you get this, you have to get your first derivative. This means gradient, the general gradient on a curve, which was going to give you a negative 2x plus 6. Negative 2x plus 6. We are applying calculus. Then once you get a negative 2x plus 6, it means we are going to say, therefore, this gradient, the general gradient, must be equal to the gradient of the tangent. And the gradient of the tangent from the equation of a straight line y is equal to mx plus c. It's m, which is in this case 2. So it means when we come substitute that there, we were going to get our f prime, which is the gradient of the tangent 2 must be equal to negative 2x plus 6. 2x plus 6. Take this one to the other side here, take this one here, and this one there. So it means that 2x was gonna be equal to 6 minus 2, which gives us 4. So our x is equal to 2. So it means this tangent is there on f when x is equal to 2. So what is the corresponding value of y? So it means to get the corresponding value, here at the point of contact, our y will be equal to, you substitute the 2 here or in the given fx. So it's gonna be minus open bracket, then it's 2 minus 3 squared plus 25. If we are to check here, we are going to get 24. It means the tangent here is a point of contact at the point 2, 24. You can check this 2 instead of substituting in this f. It was possible that you can just substitute in this expanded form. So it was going to be minus 2 squared plus 6, 2 plus 16. So if we simplify this, it's still giving you 24, which is what we get there. So when you get that, substitute this point in this equation, because we are saying this is the point of contact. This point on F is the point of contact of this and this line. So substitute this line in this, substitute this point in this line to get the value of the K. So it means we're going to say Y is 24 equal to 2, the X is 2 plus K. So the 24 is equal to 4 plus K. Take this one to this side. So it means our 20 is equal to K. Thank you very much.